Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is the Captain speaking here on Capnclydes MTG. We got tons of more spoilers today, so we're going to have to go pretty quick. But before we do, don't forget to subscribe. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, it's giveaway time and every milestone after that. So don't forget links in the description to buy some cards. It also helps, and it keeps us sponsor free, unless you're ShamWow. I'm still waiting for the call. Anyway, we'll start off with something nice. That's right, it's an otter token. Aww. Cool thing about this, 1/1 prowess guy. Can't go wrong with that. And is he playing water polo? Like that's water polo, right? Anyway, moving on. Our first spoiler of the day is the Eddie Merc Crab. 2 blue and 5 for this 5/5 with flash. It costs 1 less to cast for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. We know how good that is. And it enters tapped if it's not your turn. So when the Eddie Merc Crab enters, tap up to 2 target creatures. So doesn't matter if you put it into play when it's not your turn. You tap your opponent's stuff and punch him in the face for 5. So we already know how well the 1 blue and 5 creature is. That is 1 less to cast for every sorcery instant in the battle in the graveyard, which normally gets cast for 1 blue. This is probably not as good, but this does have flash and be great for limited. May see some other play, who knows. Bellowing Crier, a blue and 1 for this 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, you draw a card, then discard. It's like Merfolk Looter, but only once with bigger hands, I guess. Anyway, fine for limited. Next we have Alania's Pathmaker, a red and 3 for this 4/2. When it enters, you exile a top card of your library. Until end of turn, you can play it. Basic good card for limited. Druid of the Spade, green and 2 for this 2/3 Rabbit Druid. As long as you control a token, this is a 4/3 with trample for 3. Again, just your basic good limited stuff. We have the Tree Guard Duo, green and 3 for this 3/4. When it enters, until the end of turn, target creature you control gains vigilance and +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. Definitely just for limited, but can be a powerhouse if you in a creature stalemate or, I don't know, just want a big creature. We have Give, the Scaled Scorch. Gotta work on these names. Anyway, red and black for this 3/2 has Ward, pay 2 life. That's already really good. Other creatures you control enter with additional +1/+1 counter on them for each opponent who has lost life this turn. Seems pretty good. Whenever you cast a lizard spell, Give, Scale Scorch deals 1 damage to target opponent. Well, that makes it easy. I'm going to play a lizard, shoot you for 1. Hey, +1/+1 counter. Almost like a combo, but not. Anyway, gonna be fine for limited. This might even see some standard play. I mean, 2 mana 3/2s that have Ward, pay 2 life, and the ability like this is really good. We just got to wait to see how many lizards we got floating around, or whatever. We have the Festival of Embers, red and 4 enchantment. During your turn, you may cast instant or sorcery spells from your graveyard by paying 1 life in addition to other costs. If a card or token will be put into your graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. So for red and 1, sacrifice the Festival of Embers. So some people are a little hyped about this. I don't like it. I mean, it might be fine in standard maybe, but when you have 4 mana Past in Flames, it's just better because also, yeah, for 5 mana you can put it out and cast everything that's in the graveyard. However, notice it says if a card or token will be put into your graveyard from anywhere, exile it. You can't put them in your graveyard from your hand, they immediately get exiled. So this is probably just bad. Personal opinion, take that as you will. Next we have Fukid Green Shell. God, what a name. 2 green and 3 for a 4/6 with reach. As long as you control 10 or more lands, it gets +2/+2, so 6/8 for 5. That's perfectly normal. Nothing wrong with that at all. Whenever it or another creature you control with toughness greater than its power enters, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land, you may put it on the battlefield tap. Otherwise, put it in your hand. Holy shit. So otherwise, we're butt fighting. Except instead of fighting with our butts, we're just going to make big-butted creatures that have more butt than front. No, more back than front. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. And we're going to either land ramp into something god-awful devastating or just put cards in our hand because that's just what it does. Good for sealed and limited. We have the Fountain Port. This colorless land taps for waste mana. Plus, for 2, tap, sacrifice a token, draw a card. That's probably going to be good. For 3, tap, pay 1 life. You get to make a 1/1 blue fish token. Not bad. Or 4 and tap, create a treasure token. This has lots of play in lots of decks, especially token decks. This is probably going to be some kind of commander card at best. It is good enough for limited, though, just by the fact you can spit out 1/1s. You've got nothing better to do with your time. So, next we have Blooming Blast. That's just funny. Red and 1 for this instant, it has Gift a Treasure. So, for those of you who weren't here in the cheap seats, whenever you gift something, you give that person that thing to get a bonus. This is a treasure, so if you give your opponent a treasure, first off, it does 2 damage to target creature. If you promise them a gift, it does 3 damage to that creature's controller. Oh, I thought it was going to do 3 damage to the creature. This is fine removal for limited, but that's really probably about as far as it's going to go. There are better things that do this in older formats already. So, next we have Portent of Calamity, a blue and X sorcery. Reveal top X cards in your library. For each card type, you may exile a card of that type from among them. Put the rest in your graveyard. You may cast a spell from among the exiled cards without paying its mana cost. If you exiled 4 or more cards this way, put the rest of the exiled cards into your hand. Did I read that right? Oh my god. This is a blue fireball. Holy shit. So all those blue-red decks, this is going to be a 5-mana spell on their turn that's going to get ugly quick. Casting things for free is never good. And Standard has plenty of things that's going to make this broken, let alone the older formats. Good Lord in heaven, look out, world, here it comes. Commander, you name it. This should have been a mythic, and you could build around this. I know people are going to say, oh, it's too hard to do. Well, wait till it happens to you once and talk about how bad it is. Anyway, moving on. Next we have Ullage, the Shoreless Sea. Anyway, 3 blue and 1. Star. It's an elemental fish. His power and toughness are equal to the number of islands you control. Okay, so it's probably going to at least be a 3/3. Mono blue would be a 4/4. But anyway, whenever it enters or attacks, put a flood counter on target land. It's an island in addition to its other types as long as it has a flood counter on it. Oh, so you can play it in a multicolor deck and put counters on your own stuff to make them tap for blue and be islands to make this guy even bigger. Or you can do the douche move and make your opponent's lands islands when they're not playing blue, so they can't cast anything. That sounds funner. Anyway, also it has, there's more. The first instant or sorcery spell you cast each turn costs 1 blue or 1 colorless less to cast for each land you control with a flood counter on it. So even more incentive to give yourself flood counters because, you start casting shit for free. Because notice it says each turn. Each turn. This is basically, as foretold, except it's a big fist. It's going to also kick them in the crotch. It is legendary, so you only get one of them at a time. This is going to be a thing in Standard, definitely Commander. I'm going to put this in my blue deck. Anyway, this is going to be a problem. Moving on, we have Secluded Courtyard. That's right, we are now into some special guest cards and some sweet reprints. So, choose a creature type, it taps for colorless, or a mana of any color to cast the current creature type. Powerful card in modern and spirits and human decks and whatnot. It also doesn't come to play tap. This is going to be a sweet card to get in that special guest slot. These are reprints, let's double them up. Or quadruple. Anyway, point being, we have a Frogmite reprint, 2/2 for 4, affinity for artifacts, normally cast for free. Gotta admit, love the art, and it's a frog. Toski, Bearer of Secrets. This is like Toski, the old Bearer of Secrets. But anyway, this reprint of the 3 and 1 green and 3/1/1 that's indestructible and all that other good jazz is going to be sweet, especially in sealed if you get it. Sweet mother of God. Love the art. We have a Sylvan Tutor reprint. Again, amazing card. Good art. Not gonna lie, I'm really digging this. Kindred Charge reprint. I mean, I guess we probably could have done better art in this. But 2 red and 4. You choose a creature type. For each creature you control the chosen type, you create a token that's a copy of it. Yada, yada, yada. They all gain haste. You kill your opponent, so forth and so on. So some other special guest cards that showed up today. We have Relentless Rats, which this is the most boss Relentless Rats I've seen in my life. This guy's swole and not having any of your shit. This is going to be a very popular card and very pricey. It's already a mythic. It's Relentless Rats. Yes. Thank you, please. Rat Colony, another good one. Not as swole as the Relentless Rats, but I'm down. It's still a good card. I like it. Ledger Shredder reprint. It's pretty cool. Bird Advisor. I like how they do the owl thing. Pretty nice. The blue and 1/1/3 that has flying and convenes whenever someone casts 2 spells. Swords to Plowshares reprint. Digging the whole mice thing. Digging it. It's kind of interesting how it's a Plowshares. What's the sword part? Like, because he's a wounded warrior, I guess. Anyway, moving on. Some other special guests that showed up today as well. Teferi the Time Raveler. That's right. This broken guy in Commander will be in the collector boxes. And notice it's Teferi with feathers. Not going to lie, this is a good portrayal of Teferi in this land, and I like the way he looks. Just going to put it out there. This art is beautiful. This bird is beautiful looking. It's just phenomenal. I can't stress how sweet it is. Then we have Kyra, the Wind's Fury. If you didn't know, this was a bird wizard to begin with. If we didn't see this reprint coming, we probably should get our head checked because it's already a bird. Anyway, good reprint there. We have Kawan, Iterant Meddler. I don't remember this card. But, I mean, whatever. It's a white, blue, 1/3. Each player may draw a card. Then each player who drew a card this way gains a life. I don't remember this, but pretty sure it's a reprint. If the Wind's Fury, if you don't remember, it's a 3/3 flyer that non-creature spells make 1/1 spirit tokens that you sacrifice for 1 red. Good in Commander. Anyway, then we have Ishaya, the Ojitai Dragon Speaker. Very nice reprint. Blue, white, and 2 for a 1/1 flying. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It has partner. This might not be a reprint. I don't know. Somebody tell me in the comment section. I'm not prepared. Sorry. Moving on, we also have some more Cantor stuff. The Gitrog monster. I know that's a reprint, and I'm gonna tell you right now, this is the Gitrog monster. This thing's horrifying. This is nightmare fuel if you've ever seen it. Then we have Derevi, the Imperial Tactician. This art, oh god, so on point and awesome looking. Come on. Baleful Strix. Could you imagine Baleful any of these cards in foil? So pretty. Squirrel Mob gets a reprint. I love it. The only thing could have made it better if he had like an eye patch, a suit, and a tie. Get it? Mob, squirrel. Anyway, moving on. Great reprints. Nice to see them. We also get a Gilded Goose. That is pretty sweet art as well. Birds of Paradise. I mean, it's fine, I guess. I mean, don't judge me. Like, I grew up with the original Birds of Paradise, and for me, it's hard to make it better than the original. And I say that with much respect to this art. Anyway, Ant Queen. Haven't seen this in forever. When was the last thing? This was a core set card, right? 2 green and 3 for a 5/5. It spits out 1/1 green creatures. Broken. Maro Nar. Again, swole rats. Swole. 2 black and 3 for the 2/3 that all rats have fear. Sacrifice a rat. Create X 1/1 rats, where X is the number of rats you control. Just house. All right, anyway. So, more Commander. That's right. Ink Eyes, Servant of Oni. Look at this badass. Oh, love it. Narset, Parter of Veils. I mean, it's fine. The art is fine. I don't think there's enough clothes on it. I know that's going to sound weird coming from a dude, but like, I expect, I can't really tell it's Narset's clothing. And that's what bothers me, I guess, a little bit. And I kind of can, but I really can't. And what's with the reaching thing? Anyway, still sweet. I like it. Luminous Broodmoth is back. And if this ain't the cutest little fella, so big and fluffy. And then we have Karin, the Great Creator. Why the fuck is he a tree? I don't know, but this is funny as hell. Because he's got the same look that I do. Like, what the F? Um, Still great cards. It's just, this one's just funny. I can't get over this one. Why you gotta do our boy so wrong? Probably because you can cast him on turn 3 in Modern, cause the Tron lands, and hell with that. Anyway, sorry, moving on. That's a TED Talk for another video. So back to the actual set, we have Scavenger's Talent. This is another class, 1 black. Whenever one or more creatures you control die, you get to create a food token, which is pretty sweet. Only triggers once per turn, though. Now, for level 2, for a black and 1, whenever you sacrifice a permanent, target player mills 2 cards, which would be a food token, or just a creature. Level 3, for a black and 2, at the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice 3 other non-land permanents, which could be food cards. If you do, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Some shenanigans going on there. Just a little bit. This might be popular in Standard if there's enough graveyard shenanigans and big beefy things going around. We'll have to wait and see. Next, we have the Starforged Sword. Looks like a flat hammer. But anyway, 4 colorless for this equipment. You can gift a tapped fish for it. Interesting. When it enters, if a gift was promised, you can attach the sword to target creature control. Equipped creature gets +3/+3 and loses flying. Get it? Loses flying because it's a, fucking boat anchor. Anyway, not bad for limited, but really that's not going to do anything else. I mean, 4 mana for a 3/3 bonus. Sure to hell not going to. I mean, I'd probably give somebody a 1/1 fish for it, but like, I don't know. Not a whole lot going on here. I'm not too impressed. We have the Starscape Cleric. Looks like a painting. Anyway, black and 1 for this 2/1 flyer. Already I'm in love. This is so good on rate. Offspring for a black and 2. That's a little pricey. It can't block, but whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Oh, Lord, here we go again. There's going to be the gain life, lose life thing. Great for limited. Might be some kind of standard thing going on. Commander's going to love this thing. So, yeah. The Keen-Eyed Curator, 2 green for a 3/3. That's perfectly fair. I mean, not like we haven't seen this before in green. Anyway, it is a raccoon, so it's a beefy trash panda. As long as there are 4 more card types among cards exiled with Keen-Eyed Curator, you get +4/+4 and it has trample. Sweet mother of God. For 1, exile target card from a graveyard. So this thing's basically a 7/7 on turn 4 with trample. That's what you're telling me. And it's not legendary. This is going to be a nightmare in Standard. And to be fair, any other format, because you can exile a card from a graveyard for 1 colorless, meaning graveyard hate with feet. He's got big feet. Not like little feet, like big feet. He's going to kick you in the crotch. Yeah. This thing's going to be huge. Get it? 7/7. Anyway, moving on. 3 tree mascot. 2 colorless for a 2/1 changeling. Already kind of cool. And it filters mana once per turn. It's fine for Standard. I'm down. Not Standard, I'm sorry, limited. Sticky Tongue Sentinel, green and 2 for this 3/3 with reach. Whenever it enters, you return up to 1 target permanent you control to its owner's hand. That's definitely a limited card when someone like pacifies your shit. Anyway. Next we have Baker's Bane Duo, green and 1 for a Squirrel Trash Panda combo. It's a 2/2. Whenever it enters, you create a food. Whatever. Whenever you spend 4 mana, or you spend 4, which is spend 4 mana the first turn, it gets a +1/+1 until end of turn. And limited at best. Next we have Whisker Quill Scribe, red and 1 for this 2/2 with Valiant. Whenever it becomes target spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, you may discard a card. If you do, draw. Limited. Next we have Agate Assault, red and whoops. Yep, that's right, red and whoops. Red and 2, choose 1. 4 damage to target creature. If it would die, exile it, or exile an artifact. Great for limited. Next we have Nocturnal Hunger, black and 2, gift of food. Destroy target creature. If the gift wasn't promised, you lose 2 life. I mean, this is just a great removal spell for 3. Not gonna lie. Probably only limited because for 3 mana you can get removal spells that do a lot more. But still, this is good. We have the Night Whirl Hermit. I almost said something else that started with WHO. Anyway, Blue and 2 for a 1/4 vigilance threshold. As long as you set more cards in your graveyard, it gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked. Ooh, 2/4, scary. Anyway, probably fine for limited. Next we have Banishing Light reprint. Haven't seen this bad boy in a while. White and 2. It enters, exile a non-land permanent till it leaves. Base. Teapot Tossers. Damn trash pandas. Anyway, red and 3 for this 3/4. Whenever you spend your first 4 mana each turn, it does 2 damage to each opponent, and it's got Menace, or Menace. Well, in this case, Amendaza. I probably butchered that. Anyway, moving on. So here we have... What? Oh, sorry. Playful Push. I was trying to read the card. Red and 1 sorcery. Deal 1 damage to any target. Draw a card. Oh, this is awful. We've seen this before. These cards just suck. There's like Needle Drop and stuff like that. This won't do anything, especially at sorcery speed. Ew. I mean, maybe limited if 1 toughness creatures are a thing. They're not. I mean, they'll be there, but like the odds you having this when you need it, slim to none. Next, we have Rabid Response. Get it? Rabid. Anyway, 2 white and 2 instant. Creatures you control get +2/+1 till end of turn. If you control a rabbit, you also get to scry too. Ooh, limited at best. Bunnies abound, though. Oh, look, the Trash Panda's back. Anyway, moving on. Link Roll, 3 colorless vehicle with Vigilance. It's a 6/6. Oh, boy. For 3 colorless and tapping, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. You tap 2 untapped tokens you control. Link Roll becomes a creature till end of turn. Very interesting that there's not a power and toughness to man this, unless the translation is wrong. Excuse me. But I don't see a number over here anywhere, so that may make this limited at best. But it says tap 2 untapped tokens. They don't need to be creatures. You can tap 2 food and have this bad boy go wild on you. So maybe it's good. Next, we have Coiling Rebirth. 2 black and 3 sorcery. Gift a card. So your opponent gets to draw a card for this. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Basic 5 mana animate spell. Then if the gift was promised, that creature is not that creature is not legendary, create a 1/1 token copy. I mean, it's fine, but I think there's better things going on than this. We have Builder's Talent, a white and 1 class. When it enters, you make an 0/4 white wall with Defender, because that's just what white does. Level 2 for 1 white. Whenever 1 or more non-creature, non-land permanents you control enter, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. That's actually pretty good for 1 white. Then, the big juice, 1 white and 4. When this class becomes level 3, return target non-creature, non-land permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's kind of cool. Definitely a commander card or limited, but that's really about it. Okay, Dowerport Mage. I think I said that right. Blue and 1 for this 1/3. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control leave the battlefield without dying, draw a card. Oh, there's a reason to blink cards. For blue and 1, tap, return another creature you control to its owner's hand. There's a reason for some blinky blinky. You get some drawy. And it doesn't trigger just once like some cards. This could be very popular in several decks that blinks creatures. Just putting that out there. Next we have Feed the Cycle. That's what the A meeting we used to talk about. Anyway, black and 1 instant. Additional cost of this spell, you forage or pay 1 black. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. This is amazing. Forage is exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food. 3 cards from your graveyard is not a big ask. And to make it cost 2, that's fine. But even at 3 mana, destroy target creature or planeswalker instant speed is a good rate. This is a good removal card. You will see this a lot. Expect it. In every format. Well, not the older ones, but you know what I'm saying. Orders Overflow. Oh, it's an enchantment, not a trash panda. It just has a trash panda on it. Anyway, red and 1. Whenever it enters the battle, whenever it enters and whenever you expend 4 mana, put a stash counter on it. For red and 1, you sacrifice it, discard your hand, draw cards equal to the number of stash counters on it. This might be something. Maybe not in and 4. 4th total mana. Yeah, you can only do this whenever you expend 4. as you spend your 4th total mana to cast spells. Yeah, I think it's only triggers once because you only get your 4th mana one time. So in the earlier decks like Modern and stuff for combos, it's not going to do anything. But it could be pretty good in Standard and Limited, and maybe even Commander, as you build up stash counters on it so that you can draw a new hand. Next, we have Blacksmith's Talent. So this class is 1 red. It enters, create a colorless equipment artifact creature token named Sword with equipped creature gets +1/+1, equips for 2. For level 2, for red and 2, at the beginning of combat on your turn, attach target equipment you control to up to 1 target creature you control. So instead of paying 2 colorless, you could just pay the 3 to level it up and just move stuff around when you want to. For red and 3, during your turn, equipped creatures you control have double strike and haste. That's really good considering that once you get past level 2, you can like, I lay Big Nappy. I now equip Sword. Oh, it has haste and double strike. I now swing and kill you. This has some definite promise in Commander and Limited. I don't think it's going to see standard play or anything else, though. We have the Honored Dray Leader, green and 2 for a 1/1 Squirrel Warrior. Raw! Adrian! Anyway, it has Trample. Damn, those devastating 1/1 Tramplers. Whenever he enters, you put a +1/+1 counter on it for each other squirrel or food you control. This thing's got to be huge in squirrel decks. Jesus Christ. Whenever another squirrel or food you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Okay, this is really good. As funny as it is, this is gonna kill people. Oh my god. Yeah, get you some. Next we have the Mind Whisker, blue and 2 for a 3/2, beginning of your upkeep, surveil 1. That's amazing. It happens every turn. That is already really good for Limited. Threshold, as long as you 7 more cards, your graveyard creatures your opponent control get -1/-0. Again, stop your opponent from hurting you. This is amazing. It's not legendary. You can have 4 of them, so your opponent could have -4, -0 to all their creatures, and you're surveilling 4 times every turn. Like, this can get out of hand quick in Limited. I mean, I think it's probably good enough for Commander to a point. Surveil every turn. Everybody's creatures get -1/-0, so you take less damage. Like, this got some teeth or some feet or tail, whatever. We have the Heirloom Epic, 1 colorless artifact. For 4 colorless, tap, draw a card. For each mana in this ability's activation cost, you may tap an untapped creature you control rather than pay the mana. Activate only. Okay, so for each mana in this ability's activation cost, you may tap an untapped creature you control rather than pay that mana. So if you have 4 different colored creatures, you can tap all 4 creatures, tap this, and draw for free. I mean, it's whatever, I guess. Still, 1 mana, pay 4, draw a card is, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's only sorcery, so that's probably the biggest drawback to it, but like, I mean, still. Anyway, next we have the Calamitous Tide, 2 blue and 4. Return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hands, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. Just Limited. I mean, for 6 mana, you can just wipe someone's whole board. Just saying. Seems better. So, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Thanks for coming. Until next time, be kind. And as always, I hope to see you across from the game table. Later, player.